Portal has always had a kind of liminal vibe to it. Maybe it's the writing on all of the walls telling you a story that you won't piece together until long after it's over. Maybe it's just the sterile but also gritty environment. But it's not surprising that when Portal 2 released with a workshop, people decided to make liminal maps. Today we're going to be ranking some of them, along with my friend Kuzmanov. So let's see if people that are so terminally online that they know how to use Hammer are capable of making liminal maps. Hi. So it's been like a month since I recorded the intro. My friend Kuzmanov somehow managed to delete all of his footage, so he's not actually featured in this video. That said, this is his idea and he makes videos like this all the time, so his channel is definitely worth checking out. I'll put it in the description. Sorry about the confusion. We start in the void, surrounded by silence and unshaded blocks. The first main section of this map is the maze. I walked around for about 4 minutes, no idea what I was doing, until I realized the tiles were counting. After following them for a while, I was able to progress to the next area. The next area is a little bit strange. It's a line in the void. But then... Whoa. Hello. After going through this door, this map really becomes interesting. That specific moment is immediately echoed a little bit later in the map. So here I was, thinking about how much this section reminded me of a manifold garden, which I thought was an inspiration for this map. But it turns out this map came out before Manifold Garden. And then I talked about how this part reminded me of the ending of Superliminal. But Superliminal came out in 2020. And this map is from 2018. Both of the things that I thought this map was inspired by came out after this map, so I pivoted to focus on both of the figments. As soon as I saw this cube, the only thing I could think of was antechamber. But I guess we'll have to put that aside for now. Or at least that's what I thought, except that this maze really reminds me of antechamber. Hello again, Cube of Illusions. But this part is actually really, really cool. Okay, now this is cool. I was originally gonna show the solution here and make a joke about, like, an alligator being behind one door and a chainsaw guy behind the other and stuff, but I really want you to go play this map, so play it and find the solution for yourself. elevator. Oh, gravity changes? Alright, we're really advancing the technology with this. Oh, or not. First, I think this is just a map inspired by Manifold Garden and an antechamber, and then it throws this stuff at me. In a Reddit AMA post, William Chur, the developer of Manifold Garden, revealed a couple things that I think piece some of this together. The game was originally going to be named after the MC Escher print Relativity, and I definitely see a lot of inspiration from Escher in the Figment works as well, so I think it's definitely very possible that they took inspiration from similar places. William Chur also cited Naissance as an inspiration, both games being inspired by the manga Blame. So I looked into that, and then realized I was going down a gigantic rabbit hole. So let's actually rank them based on liminality. I think the maze in Figment 1 works really well, but I think the maze in Figment 2 doesn't have a clear goal. Not every chamber is intended to be a puzzle, but it seems like this one was, which is why I evaluated it this way. One of the principles of puzzle design is you should always know what you're trying to do, but not how to do it. And I feel like there were times in this chamber that I did not know what I was trying to do. That said, I think the rest of Figment 2 was incredible. So for technical execution, between the two of them, it gets a 9. Atmosphere, the sound design, especially in Figment 1, was incredible. The use of contrast is very interesting. I'm gonna give it a 9 for atmosphere. Inventiveness and originality, I'm gonna give it a 9. So the Figments tried to do contrast with black and white, but what happens when a map tries to make contrast using colors? Welcome to RGB. So I fixed my microphone. I think maybe it's still completely messed up. Immediately, I love the low poly style. It's not something I would think of doing in the Source engine, but it actually works really well. Okay, love that sound design. In some kind of office space. It's done really well. I like these little details, like having these drawers open. A lot of these liminal maps seem to try to use office spaces as their main focal point, which makes sense because offices are inherently liminal as a concept. Okay, this is cool. I like the use of custom assets. Sound design so far, absolutely incredible. This soundscape in particular mixes really well with the incandescent buzzing. Okay, this is cool. For some reason, I spent a while just grabbing these books off the shelves and throwing them around, and then I realized I actually need them for the puzzle. Oh, it's like a scavenger hunt. Okay, this is actually pretty cool. Whoa. I love their use of color for contrast, which, no pun intended, contrasts nicely with the black and white of the Figments. So this guy really wants his arm back. I'm not sure if this is intentional or not, but this reminds me a lot of the caves in Ravenholm. So I'm thinking this is some kind of like sequence thing. I solved blue for... Oh, never mind. Oh, this is cool. They're bringing back in the thematic elements from each of these puzzles, which I really like. It has a really creepy vibe. I like the sound design and... Hi. So apparently, while I'm recording live, I have a habit of just not finishing sentences. So I'll work on that, I guess. At least I somewhat tried, unlike somebody.
So far, there are many things that I appreciate about this map, but I'll keep it to myself for now.
My thought here was Half-Life Alyx. Oh, maybe I should run. I think of all of the maps that I played, this one has the best sound design by far. I immediately want to play more maps by this person. Alright, so the recording version of me got distracted and ended up scrolling through this person's Steam profile for a while. So here I am in post, giving my thoughts. The sound design was great. The visuals were really good. For atmosphere, it gets a 10. For inventiveness and originality, it gets an 8. And for technical execution, there were a lot of just very linear puzzles where you're just searching for something and there's not really a question about how you're trying to solve the puzzle. So for technical execution, solely because of that, I think it's gonna get a 7 with a final score of 8.5.